go.
Cook Up Academy.
I know you want it, you looking for it. I know who got it. She talk about it in every EP, leave you island. Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with Kiki Simone. Life out loud. So can we please get a round of applause?
Did you miss me?
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to the Life Out Loud, or should I say, LOL with Kiki Simone. I am your girl, Kiki Simone, and you are tuned in to the realest, the most, I would say the livest, but it is live, right? It's the livest podcast you'll probably ever really dive into to talk about self, to look at yourself. Welcome to the Life Out Loud podcast with Kiki Simone. I am here this week, season 4 episode. I don't even know what episode it is, but anywho, we're going to dive right into it. But before we do, what I want you to do is, for all my LOLers, thank you for tuning in. And for those of you who are not familiar with the LOL with Kiki Simone, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube right now. And then I want you to take it a little step further, okay? Take it just a little step further. Go ahead and hit that notification bell for me. So every time we actually record, you'll be able to see us, all right? So I really want to dive into this episode because it is so good. This pink elephant on the Life Out Loud podcast, what we talk about are everyday issues, real life issues, and we even talk about some solutions too. What we also have on here is what we call the pink elephant. Why? Because I like pink. Yes, because your girl likes pink. Hot pink, that is, not the other kind of pinks. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and get into the pink elephant for this week, and that is forgiving yourself. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. This is something that can be really difficult for many of us to do. I mean, forgiveness just in general, that's difficult, period, right? We've heard before, if you've been around church people, if you've been in the church, if you grew up in the church or been around any type of biblical scholars, at some point you're going to hear, you got to forgive 7 times 70. But let's keep it 100, right? How many of us really can forgive or are willing to forgive 7 times 70? I mean, heck, sometimes if we just honest, we don't even want to forgive 1 time. We want to be like, hey, like, you did this, I'm going to get my revenge on you, and that's what it is. But at some point in time in our life, we may have heard, you got to forgive 7 times 70. Or you may have heard the phrase, it's not for them. It's for you. But when you're mad and you in a situation and you just like, hey, I need to see what's up, I don't want to forgive them. I do not want to forgive them at all. What I want to do is I want to get back, right? I want to get my get back. I don't care about nothing else they got going on. I just don't want to forgive them, and I'm going to just leave it as that. Well, let me share this with y'all. Those things are right? The Bible is right. It's the truth. And then for those who actually may have said that phrase to you or shared it with you in a group or you overheard it, that's true as well, right? Forgiveness really is for us, right? But many times when we talk about forgiveness, we really focus on other people. And on this podcast, I'm going to be extremely transparent. Some things I may have shared on other podcasts before, but I just want you to know I want to continue to be transparent because I know everyone hasn't seen every episode, and I understand that. But what I want to share with you in regards to forgiving other people. Now, I'm getting to our meat and potatoes, right? I'm getting to our forgiving yourself and things of that nature. But let me just share with you a little bit about forgiveness and how what I mentioned is it being for you, not for the other person, how this really all kind of comes together. And that is when my mother was still living, she had been going to the doctor. She had been going to this one lady, and the lady was really not helping her. You know, she wasn't helping her with her needs, her health needs. And so the lady really kind of got upset with my mom, and she really just was like, you know what? I don't even really want to give you all of the information or things you need to help you get better. Yeah, this is a health professional. And this was way back in California, way back when. And this lady actually did something that took it a little step further, right? My mother ended up having 4 massive heart attacks. And I know y'all might be like, oh my gosh, that's a lot. And it is, and it was a lot for someone like me to witness my mother going through that stuff. But, you know, when you go to the doctor says, you know, the ER doctor says, oh, let's check you for this, let's check you for that. But we also got to find out who your PCP is, your primary care physician. So they contact your PCP to find out what kind of health conditions or what's going on with that person. And so this lady, who was my mother's PCP at the time, she told the ER doctor, hey, this lady is just playing. Like, she's crazy in the head and nothing's really wrong with her. So what do you think that doctor actually did? He actually, instead of treating her for her heart, he started treating her as if she were crazy. Now, what that ended up leading to was to my mother passing away without having the proper treatment that she really needed. Now, for a young woman coming up, how do you think I felt? That forgiveness, like, I sure wasn't ready to forgive that man. I wasn't ready to forgive that man who was treating my mama, and I wasn't ready to forgive the lady who really turned the trajectory of the diagnosis to the ER doctor. And I've got to tell y'all, like, that was a very difficult portion of my life to go through, because here I am trying to learn about God, but then in my mind, like, you're responsible for the demise of my mother. That's what you're responsible for. So how do you, as a young person, learning about God, learning about, you know, how to be this great woman, and now someone's responsible for really the demise of the person that brought you life? And that took some time for me really to forgive both of them, because I'm not even gonna front with y'all. Like, I was just like, I want to know where they live at. I want to know who they people are. Like, I want somebody to feel what I felt with my mother not being here. And it was a very difficult time for me. And it took a lot. It was a process for me to begin to forgive, because that was the hardest thing or fact or event in my life that happened, where I had to forgive someone to that magnitude, right? And so eventually God allowed me to be able to forgive. And that was a great thing for me, right? And so I'm thinking, you know, hey, in life, if anything ever happens again, oh, I can, you know, get over it and things of that nature. Because if I can forgive for this, truly I can forgive for other things. Well, I'm still growing, y'all. I'm still growing. And what that does is, how it kind of leads into what I'm going to share with you next is, you know, when you begin to forgive other people, sometimes it might be a little bit easier to help you learn to forgive yourself. Now, some people, it's not always that way, but I kind of want to share with you a little bit about forgiving yourself. When I talk about, or when I say forgiving yourself, many times people don't even know that they have to forgive themselves for things. And there's a danger in that, right? Because sometimes when you're going through something, or you're not realizing that you have to really what's the word, that you have to forgive someone else or let go of an offense to someone. Life goes on, right? Life goes on. And you're basically like a walking dysfunction when you've got unforgiveness in your heart towards yourself. These are things that actually happen. Life goes on, but we don't. We're actually still right where we were when that event happened if we're not able to forgive ourselves. And so as I'm saying, like, life goes on, but we don't. We stay there and we become dysfunctional, a walking dysfunction. We become stagnant. We lifeless, like things in our life is just not fulfilled. So we go through life unfulfilled. We go through life not at peace. We go through life just going through the motions, right? And a lot of us do this. Let's just be honest. A lot of us do this because we just don't know, right? Mary has this song about forgiving yourself and really that if you need to heal, this learning to forgive yourself is truly, truly one of the best gifts that you can give yourself when you know that you've wronged or erred in any way or shape or fashion. So I want to share with you all another just being transparent, right? Because here on LOL, we're transparent about what actually happens in our lives, right? And I want to share with you and be totally transparent. This is something that I've shared with on previous podcasts before. Others may have heard this story before. Totally fine. But again, everyone may not have. And so I want to share with you about the process of forgiving yourself. What happened, I'm not even going to say to me. I'm going to say what I caused, what I did. In my life, there was a period of time where, and I've got so much stuff to share with y'all about that period of time. More episodes coming. Anyway, there was a period of time where I actually was going through, I was that walking dysfunction, right? I was going through life trying to people please. I was going through life trying to be what other people wanted me to be, what other people needed me to be. I needed to be there for everyone. I was that yes girl. The words no would never come out of my mouth. And I got in this place to where not only was I doing that, but I was also kind of on the low doing what I wanted to do as well. And when I say on the low, I mean, I had a whole nother life, just being totally transparent. That was not the one that I was presenting to everyone. I was actually, I was very promiscuous, and I ended up, getting pregnant more than once. And I did not go through with the pregnancies. I did not bring any of those children to full term. And that was intentional. It was intentional, but my motive behind it was not good, right? I'm not saying that act was good at all, or that there is even an excuse or a valid reason for, just being promiscuous. I don't think that there is a valid reason, but I own what I own what I've done, right? And so during that time, I was dealing with a lot of guilt. I was thinking of, oh my gosh, what are people going to say? I'm so ashamed. What is my family going to think? If more than anything, like, what is my daddy going to think? Am I going to embarrass my dad? And, things of that nature. Because I had such a high expectation for myself to live up to things for other people. And I'm not just saying, I'm not calling my daddy out or nothing. I'm saying, like, for me, like, I just was that people pleaser, right? And so I ended up aborting more than once, as I stated. And I didn't realize the impact of what I'd done, right? And it wasn't until later on in my life where I realized, oh my goodness, dang, I really messed up. And your reasoning, when you're in the moment, you're thinking that you're doing something, that's best for you and things of that nature. And sometimes we do think that we're doing what's best for us or what's more convenient for us, when in actuality, it's really not. And it's definitely not what God intended for it to be. And so I went through a lot of guilt, as I stated. I went through a lot of shame. And then I got to a place in my life where I was filled with a lot of disgust. I was disgusted with myself for even allowing myself to do that, even allowing myself to just go through with it, right? And I take full responsibility for what I've done. Not any of the partners that I had, in that regards. I don't put any blame on them whatsoever. I take full responsibility of what I did to my body. And I was just so disgusted with myself. And I was like, Lord, like, how can I even bounce back from this? Like, how can I forgive myself? I know it's other women out here that would like to have children, and here I've done something where it has made it bad. It's really bad, and I'm even ashamed to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it. And then I know how it would make my partners how they would feel, because I know one of them did not want me to abort our children. And so I really had not forgiven myself. Years had gone by, and I didn't realize or know that I was holding unforgiveness towards myself. And I really needed to let that go, and I didn't see how I could do that. So I'm saying all of this to say that you can have real situations. It may not have been, your issue may not be mine, but you may have done something that you truly, truly wish you had not done, or that if you could take it back, you would. And you have to sometimes go back. And the first thing that you have to do is really, you have to be intentional, right? You have to be intentional about what you're going to see or whatever is revealed to you about yourself. You've got to be intentional about that self-reflection, about that self-evaluation. What is it? What am I going to find? And am I open to what I'm going to see? And truth of the matter is sometimes we really do need to make sure that we are being honest with ourselves, right? Then we've got to allow God to be able to come in and reveal to us and show us, the things that we have hidden in our hearts. Many times we hear the phrase, oh, well, God, you know my heart. And guess what? Our heart ain't pure. It ain't as pure as you think it is. Our hearts are not pure. We are led deceitfully by our lust and our desires of the heart. The word talks about that. And so we have to make sure that we are truly allowing God to heal, right? Allowing God to heal us in that regards. And so I really, really, for anyone who's dealing with, just going through the motions, just that walking dysfunction, just existing, I want you to think about like, hey, am I being intentional about finding out about me? Am I being intentional about allowing God to reveal to me what he needs to? And then am I receptive to it, right? Am I receptive to actually really understanding what I did and what that caused? I've got to really, really, really be open to that and make no excuses for it. Or, we can't say, well, I did this because, or it was because of this. Like, no, in the moment, that's what we do. But in self-reflection, it really shows us like either it was right or wrong. Everything is either right or wrong. So I challenge us this week, or I challenge us for whenever you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast. Is there something that's in my heart that I need to forgive myself because I feel like I'm just going through the motions every single day? I need to really, really get a grasp on having that self-awareness and knowing that I can overcome anything that I need to forgive. And sometimes it's not even about forgiving others first. Sometimes it is really forgiving us for us. But guess who forgave us first? God forgave us. It's a great thing for us to go back and repent. But guess what? God forgave us first. Sometimes God is the one to forgive us first. Then we've got to forgive ourselves. And then if we've done anything to anyone else, ask for that forgiveness from the other party or the other person. And I really want us to really think about it, because we're not perfect, right? We still want the same forgiveness from others, but sometimes we're not even willing to forgive ourselves. So think about, is there something that I still hold in my heart towards myself? And God, can you reveal that to me and allow me to be able to accept it and move forward and take the necessary steps to begin that healing process of forgiving me? So that's our pink elephant for this week. I hope that something was said or done. I know that sounds like church, all right? That sounds like church, but it's all good though. I'm your girl, and I'm going to give it to you exactly the way that God gives it to me to give it to you. So anywho, I hope that you enjoyed this particular episode. Make sure that you are forgiving yourself. Make sure that you are open to understanding how to forgive yourself and walk that out and bring community around you to help you with that as well. So I hope that everyone enjoyed it. Make sure that you subscribe on YouTube and hit that notification bell as well. Thank you to my LOLers. And until next time, I holla. Peace.
Don't nobody ever be on what she be on. This is LOL with Kiki Simone. You hear that? Life out loud.
Cook Up Academy.